I ask po anyone to enlighten me po kung hanggang saan po yung tapos natin last meeting. Anyone po? Yes, Iko. Go ahead.
Parang last meeting po ay nagpasagot po kayo ng example 3.1.
Example 3.1, okay. So, anyone who wants to share the solution for example 3.1? So I am also preparing my device for the next part of the lecture. Anyone? Any volunteer? Volunteer po tayo? Ano pong nag-answer? Wala po ba nagsagot? Diba that's all about the thermal resistance? Ano nga pong section kayo? Section 2. Okay, anyone po from the group? Meron ba? May nag-solve po ba? May nag-solve po sa inyo? Sample 3.1? Wala? Ano bang tamad naman ninyo? Kung wala po sa isa sa inyo, isa sa inyo nag-solve. Naintindihan nyo ka po yung ating discuss last time para po makiki-open po ng ating camera para kita ko po kung sino po ang nandyan. May nag-answer po na example 3.1? Yes, Ivan Earl.
Permission to share my screen to.
Yes, go ahead. Sige.
Kita na po ba nun?
Yes, Otoy. Sige, go ahead.
Example 3.1. The wall of a building is a composite consisting of 100 mm layer of common brick, a 100 mm layer of glass fiber, paper face, 28 kg per cubic meter, a 10 mm layer of gypsum plaster or vermiculite, and a 6 mm layer of pine panel. The inside convection coefficient is 10 watts per square meter, and the outside convection coefficient is 70 watts per square meter. What are the total resistance and the overall coefficient for heat transfer? First is yung known po natin, which is a composite wall of different materials with prescribed thickness, inside and outside convection coefficient. And yung ating pong find is, hahanapin is yung ating pong total resistance or yung ating R total, and yung ating overall heat transfer coefficient. Sa ating pong schematic diagram naman po, una is yung ating inside convection heat coefficient na 10 watts per square meter Kelvin. Sunod po is yung ating layer ng common brick with 100 mm thickness. Next is yung ating glass fiber with 100 mm layer of thickness din po. Next is yung ating gypsum plaster. And sinundan po ng ating pine panel. Last is yung ating pong outside convection coefficient, which is 70 watts per square meter Kelvin. And yung ating pong thermal resistance, ganito po ang aking diagram na nagawa. Since wala naman pong area na given, 1 over H1, L2 over K2, L3 L over K3, L4 over K4, L5 over K5, and 1 over H6. Assumption na po, naman po natin, ang nilagay ko po is, yung wall po is arranged according to the order in which the materials were described sa ating problem po. Which is yung una is yung common brick po. Next is yung glass fiber. Next is yung gypsum plaster. And lastly po is yung pine panel. Kasi po is yung atin naman pong mga K is kinuha ko po sa ating thermophysical properties of common materials. Yung K po ng common brick is 0.72 watts per meter Kelvin. Yung K po ng glass fiber is 0.038 watts per meter Kelvin. Yung K naman po ng gypsum plaster is 0.25 watts per meter Kelvin. And lastly, yung K po ng pine panel is 0.12 watts per meter Kelvin. Moving on po sa analysis, yung ating pong magiging R total, since naka-series lang naman po yung ating resistance, pag-add-add lang po natin sila. And pag napag-add po natin sila, ang makukuha pong nating sagot is yung 2.97475 square meter Kelvin all over watts. Then sa atin naman pong overall heat transfer coefficient or yung U po natin, 1 over R total lang naman po siya. So 1 over 2.974753505 is yung ating pong overall heat transfer coefficient ay 0.336162315 watts per square meter Kelvin. And sa comment ko naman po, since no area was given, the overall heat transfer coefficient is expressed per unit area. Yun lang po naman.
Okay, thank you. Otoy, pa-flash ulit ang iyong values.
Okay pa.
So, nakuha niyo po ba yung value? Doon ito sa results na. Okay, so ito yung R total, ano? So, you have there yung ilan bang material, Otoy? Bakit? 5 ba? Ano bang materials natin? Sabi natin sa problem ay
1, 2,
ano nakalagay natin material? Una natin.
Ay, wala po pala yung L1 over K1.
So, ilan lang? 4 lang, di ba?
4 lang po yung materials po.
Yung common brick, yung glass fiber, yung gypsum plaster, at saka yung pine panel.
4.
Ano? So, ayun po yung 4 na material natin. So, you have their 6 lahat-lahat sila, including yung ating dalawang convection heat transfer coefficient na na-mention. So, yung ating resistance due to convection. So, since they are all connected in series, then you just take the sum. No? So, andyan po. Correction po pala doon sa ating given sa problem. Ano? Mali po yung unit na nalagay ko dyan sa, ano ba yun? Ay, hindi pala. Ayun, nawala po yung Kelvin. Ano sa value ng HI at saka HO. So, please correct that. That is in watts per square meter Kelvin. The 10 and the 70. Okay? So, ang kanya pong answer, punta tayo sa results, 2.9748. That would be in square meter Kelvin per watt. And finding its reciprocal, you have there your value of U, which is 0.3362 watts per square meter Kelvin. Meron po bang question about this? Sino po ang nakakuha ng same results? Okay. So, okay naman po yung values. Ano? So, again po, please ensure that you are getting the correct properties from the table. Kung wala pong eksakto na naandun, halimbawa merong iba't ibang options at wala naman pong specific na sinabi sa problem, then you can assume kung alin po yung kukuhanin ninyong property. Kung wala pong eksakto. Ano? So, sige, you may lower your hand. Gian, are you asking question or is it a response to my question a while ago?
No po. Response lang po kanina.
Okay. Sige. So, thank you, Ivan, for sharing the solution for example 3.1. Now, we proceed to our, yun bang, tawag dito? Contact resistance ay diniscuss ko na sa inyo or today pa lang? Yung sunod na topic, na contact resistance, ngayon pa lang. Okay. Sige, I'll be discussing yung ating pong next topic, which is the contact resistance in addition to what we discussed last time. So what is this contact resistance? So thermal contact resistance is the temperature drop across the interface between the materials, and its existence is due primarily to surface roughness effect. So, kailan ba natin kinoconsider yung contact resistance? Kung meron tayong data about that, because the contact resistance is basically obtained from this formula, that it is equal to TA divided by your TB. So, TA is the temperature on the material A, point of contact, and TB is for your material B. If you are joining two materials, no, nagkakaroon tayo ng contact resistance if the adjoining parts of the two materials is not or are not smooth, no, kaya kasi sabi nga natin is due to surface roughness effect. Halimbawa, yung ating concrete wall tapos nilagyan natin ng bricks. So we use material in order for us to attach the bricks to the surface of the concrete wall. So if the surface is not smooth, then there would be contact resistance. No, so ito po yung ating formula na gagamitin para sa contact resistance. If in case known po sa atin yung temperature ng both surfaces, so we can determine the contact resistance. Okay. There are also some values here presented in our table 2 and table 3 for the different thermal contact resistance for metallic interfaces under vacuum conditions, and for aluminum interface having this condition of 10 micrometer, surface roughness times 10 cube in Pascal or Newton per square meter with different interfacial fluids. So kindly correct this second 100, ano kasi parehong 100. This is 10,000. No, 10,000 po ito, kilonewton per square meter. No, so ayun po yung ating value. Maki-correct po natin. Let me just double check po yung ating value. Wait lang ha, check ko lang po sa reference material natin. Baka po mali ang aking recall. Yeah, that is 10,000 kilonewton per square meter po, no? Yun pong may 0.7 to 4, 0.1 to 0.5, etc. Okay? So, ayun po yung ating values na pwede po natin tingnan. So, again po, this is 10,000 kilopascal. And letter B is for the interfacial fluids for aluminum interface. Another table gives us the thermal resistance of representative solid-to-solid interface. So, kung tayo po ay nagdikit ng, say, silicon chip, lapped aluminum in air of this particular specification, then you have the value of 0.3 to 0.6. If we are talking, for example, of stainless steel with Doe Corning, so approximately 0.04 times 10 to the negative 4. Take note that the thermal contact resistance presented in this table is pre-multiplied by 10 to the 4th. So the actual value that you have to use would be times 10 to the negative 4. Another example po that we will be utilizing in the next example problem is the silicon chip in aluminum with 0.02 millimeter epoxy. So the value of the thermal contact resistance ranges from 0.2 to 0.9. So if you are designing, then you take the maximum value. Okay? So if ever that you can find the values of thermal contact resistance from these two tables, then you consider thermal contact resistance. And also the other way is to find it using the formula. But then if there would be no data on how you can find the value of the thermal contact resistance, then you have to add it in the assumptions that thermal contact resistance is negligible. Ano, kung wala pong way para makuha yung values, hindi po siya yung hinahanap sa problem, then you may add it in your assumptions that we can assume that the thermal contact resistance is negligible. Okay po? So let us take this example 3.2. A thin silicon chip and an 8 millimeter thick aluminum substrate are separated by a 0.02 millimeter thick epoxy joint.
Show all the forces and identify.
Wait lang. The chip and substrate are each 10 millimeter on a side, and their exposed surfaces are cooled by air, which is at a temperature of 25 degrees Celsius and provides convection coefficient at 100 watts per square meter Kelvin. If the chip dissipates 105 watts per square meter under normal condition, will it operate below a maximum allowable temperature of 90 degrees Celsius? So we are asked to determine that, no, kung siya ay mag-ooperate at that particular value. Okay? So what will be known in the problem if we are to solve this kind of problem? So known to this would be, ano po ang ating mga known? Known are the dimensions, no, ng ating material with the silicon chip and the aluminum substrate, and also the epoxy joint. So dimensions, we are also given of the heat dissipation, and then also the maximum allowable temperature of the silicon chip. Also, the convection conditions are also given because we are given of the temperature of the air and its corresponding convection heat transfer coefficient. Okay? So we are asked to find whether it will operate at its maximum allowable temperature or whether it will be exceeded or not. Now, so for the schematic representation, if we are going to have the solution to that, let me use my device, my tablet for the solution. Ano?
We need to know how to do the equations of equation. So, ginagamit natin ang lagi natin gagawin din, we just need to
okay. So, based on our given conditions in the problem, we can prepare our schematic representation. Okay? So for the schematic representation, again, kopyahin ko lang po yung figure natin. So we have there your
It just means na opposite
Meron tayong silicone chip.
direction.
Tapos ito yung ating 0.02 millimeter na epoxy joint. And then we have here the aluminum substrate. No? So again, ito po yung silicone, ito po yung aluminum, ito po yung epoxy. Okay? And then,
Here we have the X, Y,
meron tayong binigay na thickness ng aluminum substrate. Ano po ang binigay na thickness?
10 millimeters po.
No, that is on each side. Hindi po yun yung ang binigay po sa atin ay itong at 10 silicone chip and 8 millimeter thick aluminum substrate. So yun po yung 8 millimeter. Ito po yung thickness. Kumbaga po yung 10 millimeter on a side, hindi po siya yung thickness. Ano, parang sa surface area po yun related. So we have here the thickness which is 8 millimeter. Pero wala pong binigay about sa silicone chip kasi ang sabi ay thin silicone chip. Yung epoxy po meron pong 0.02 millimeter. Okay? So ayan po yung mga given natin. Lagyan po natin ng data with regard to the convection. So meron po tayo ditong air. Ang sabi po sa air ay temperature po niya ay 25 degrees Celsius and H is given to be 100 watts per square meter Kelvin. Okay? And then both sides po siya naka-expose so meron din po tayo ditong air sa ilalim. With the same condition. So temperature of fluid is 25 degrees Celsius and H is 100 watts per square meter Kelvin. Okay? So we need to identify kung nasaan po yung ating mga heat flow dito sa ating figure. So from this, nasaan po yung ating heat flow? So looking at the conditions na binigay po sa atin, yung ating surface, yung ating air, pareho po silang value. So what does it mean? So kung pareho po yung value natin ng air, hindi po pwedeng one direction lang yung ating heat flow. So remember na nandito po sa adjoining natin na part sa epoxy, yung atin pong highest temperature. Ano? So, we have here to indicate yung ating Q1. So, this is your Q1 and your Q2 would be in the opposite direction. Since we know that this point, andito po sa point na ito, yung atin pong adjoining temperature sa TO. Okay? So, this is the highest temperature and we have the air, 25, and the other side po, air also. Kaya po, going up and going down yung ating arrow representation ng heat flux 1 at saka ng heat flux 2. And at this joint po, we have here your QC. The heat flux or kung ano man pong representation natin. Okay? So, this is your TO. So, let me use this to be your QO or the heat flux in this point of adjoining ng ating silicone chip and aluminum substrate. So, this is somewhat different from our previous discussion in which the thermal circuit that we prepare is that the heat rate or the heat flux is constant and in one direction only. Because as you notice in our previous examples, we have from one end of from one surface of the wall going to the other surface, the temperature is decreasing. So, but this time, the highest temperature is somewhat at the middle. So, when you prepare the thermal circuit for this one, you can prepare the vertical one or you can prepare the horizontal one kung anong gusto nyo. Pero since the direction of our heat flow is in the vertical direction, then we follow yung vertical. So, ano-ano yung mga temperature na involved? So, we have here the temperature of the fluid. Then, we have here your TO. Then, you have the next temperature would be the temperature of the fluid. Again, ano? So, ito yung temperature natin ulit ng temperature ng fluid. Ma'am, wala po bang temperature ng surface si silicone at saka temperature ng surface po si aluminum? Wala po kasing binigay. But you can include kung meron po. Ano? Kasi kung wala naman po tayong information, then we may not include that. Pero ito, pwede po nating lagyan ito ng isa kasi meron po tayo ditong another resistance. Okay? So, with this po, as you see, kung meron, lalagyan po natin ng additional pong points. Pero kung wala, na binigay po kagaya ng thickness kasi dapat merong conduction, di ba, sa silicone chip dahil L/KA yon. But then since nothing was mentioned about the thickness of the silicone chip, it is just mentioned that it is a thin silicone chip. So we assume that the conduction heat transfer in the silicone chip is negligible later in our assumption. Ano? Okay? So with that po, since wala, edi pwede natin tanggalin siya. And then we just add it here. Ang atin pong resistance due to that, since we are talking of TO and the temperature of the fluid, that would be simply your 1/H, no? Since wala naman pong binigay na area. Okay? And then, next to that po would be for the silicone aluminum epoxy joint. Mentioned is the 0.02 millimeter. So, titingnan po natin doon sa table na piniresent ko kanina, ang value niya is 0.2 to 0.9. So we make use of the highest value, which is the 0.9 times 10 to the negative 4 square meter Kelvin per watt. So ito po yung ating unang resistance. Ano? Ito pong ating unang resistance. This is your thermal contact resistance equal to 0.9 times 10 to the negative 4. This is square meter Kelvin per watts. Okay? And then next to that po would be, since ito pong ating aluminum, there is a given thickness, so we add it. We add it in the resistance. Ano? So, dadagdagan po natin ng resistance. And then say ito po yung ating, wait lang po, extend. Nakin lang po yung paikliin ng konti. So, ito po yung ating thermal contact resistance. Tapos, meron po tayong L/K para po sa aluminum. No? And then, after po noon is, yun pong resistance natin. So, dapat meron sanang temperature ito, ano, corresponding to this surface. But then, wala naman po. But, we can actually determine that temperature. Ano yung ating temperature na yun? Okay? So, we have here another one which is your 1/H and therefore this is your temperature of the fluid. Okay? So, yan po yung ating thermal circuit but then we have to put yung atin pong Q. So, yung atin pong Q, we have here yung ating QO, dito po sa ating point na ito. This is the heat flux along the O. This is your heat flux 1 and this is your heat flux 2. Okay? So, pag nagawa po tayo ng equation, it's not anymore that heat flux is constant. So, what you have to do is that the heat flux along the at position O is equal to your heat flux 1 plus your heat flux 2. We are actually looking for your value of TO and you compare it with the given maximum allowable temperature, which is 90 degrees Celsius. Okay? So for the assumptions, we assume that it is a steady state, one-dimensional conduction. And again, we neglect the heat transfer from the sides of the composite and also for the silicon chip, since nothing is provided for the data. And then constant properties, and since nothing was mentioned about the surroundings, then we also assume that the radiation heat exchange with the surroundings is also negligible. Okay po? And then for the properties, since ang meron lang tayong gagamitin ay aluminum, so you can take it from the thermophysical properties of metallic solids for pure aluminum at a particular temperature. So ano yung temperature na gagamitin natin dito pagkuha? Kasi ang meron tayong temperature dito is temperature lang ng fluid. Okay? Wala pong binigay about dito nga sa temperature ng aluminum. Now, actually, pwede nating determine later kung ano yung value ng temperature ng aluminum. So, we need to make some assumption first kung ano yung temperature. Okay? So, paano natin i-assume yung temperature? It's up to you kung ano po ang i-assume natin. But then later, you have to double check kung tama po yung ating na-compute. No? So, let us assume, halimbawa po ay since 85 po siya, okay? Ano bang binigay? 90 pala. So, 90 at saka 25. No? So, pwede pong kunin natin yung average ng dalawa. So, we have 90 at saka 25. That is 115. No? Divide 2 plus 273. Ano pong value noon? Makiki-compute nga po. So we have 90 plus 25 divided by 2 plus 273. So that is around 330.5. So pwede po natin i-assume na 330. And then later po natin titingnan kung ano po yung magiging value niya. Ano? So you will be finding the value po ng pure aluminum from table. Ano, ito po yung sa property. Makiki-check po ano po ang value ng thermal conductivity of aluminum at 330 Kelvin. Again po, ang assumption po natin is at temperature of 330 Kelvin. Pasuyo po, makiki-check po sa ating table kung ano po ang value ng property ng pure aluminum at 330 Kelvin. Makiki-interpolate na lang po kung need pong i-interpolate, and please provide the value. Yes, Gian.
238.95 po, ma'am.
238.95. This is in watts per meter Kelvin. Okay? So, ayun po yung nakuhang thermal conductivity from the table. And then now we proceed with our analysis. Ano? So, sa analysis po natin, again, we have your QO is equal to heat flux 1 plus heat flux 2. So, substituting po natin yung ating heat flux 1 coming from our thermal circuit. Yung ating heat flux 1 is due to convection, and yung ating heat flux 2 ay sum po noong tatlo nating thermal resistances, including po yung ating contact resistance. Okay? So with that, your heat flux O is equal to heat flux 1. Again, that is your TO minus the temperature of the fluid divided by 1 over H. And then plus yun pong ating Q2, that is equal to TO minus the temperature of the fluid divided by the sum of the resistances in between them, which is equal to your thermal contact resistance. And then plus yung pong ating L over K para sa aluminum at yung ating pong 1 over H para sa convection. Okay? So, given po yung ating mga values, ano? So, ma'am, saan po natin kukuhanin yung ating QO? Di ba sinabi na meron tayong heat dissipation na, ano yun? Value natin is 105 watts per square meter. So, yun po yung ating QO na gagamitin. Ano? So, yung 105 po. So, given po yung ating QO, given ang temperature ng fluid, given ang H, given ang thermal contact resistance, kinuha po natin sa table, that is 0.9. Given po yung thickness ng aluminum, kinuha na po natin ang property ng aluminum, and then we have 1/H. Then you can find po yung value ng TO. Makiki-compute po kung ano po yung value ng ating TO. Idiretso nyo na po dyan or lagyan po natin ng value. Ano? So, with that po, yung ating heat flux ay 105 watts per square meter is equal to TO minus 25 divided by 1 over 100 watts per, this is degree Celsius, watts per square meter Kelvin, and then plus TO minus 25 divided by 0.9 square meter Kelvin per watt plus thickness po natin na ay 0. Ano ba yun? 8? 0.008 tama ba? Meter over thermal conductivity po natin na 238.95 watts per meter Kelvin, and then plus po yung 1 over 100 watts per square meter Kelvin. With this po, makiki-compute po ako ng TO.
Para kayo magkaroon ng 5 or 3 depending on saan po ay 1.5.
Simplify nyo na lang po and then find the value of TO. Makiki-compute na lang po. Algebra na lang naman po yan. Find po the value of TO. I'll give you po 5 minutes for this. Paki-solve na lang po. May nakapag-simplify po ba? Yes, Giancarlo.
26.0386 po.
Makiki-confirm po sa iba kung yun po yung value. 26 lang.
Ma'am, permission to speak po.
Yes, sige.
Ma'am,
Go ahead.
panaiwan po yung times 10 to the negative 4 po dun sa...
Ay, oo, Toy. Sorry. May times 10 to the negative 4 ito, Toy. Gian, makiki-recompute, baka kaya mali. Masyado mababa kasi look at the temperature of the air, it's 25. Parang 1 degree lang po yung difference. Sige po, please provide the value. Write it in the chat box kung meron na po kayong value para makita natin kung may consistency ba yung inyong mga nakukuhang value. Mag-refill lang po ako ng water. Sige, lagay nyo na lang sa chat box ha. Pwede nyo pong isimplify muna yung equation bago po mag-substitute. No? Again po, mas okay na ma-simplify po natin yung equation bago tayo mag-substitute. Ako po kasi nilagay ko na agad yung value. So instead of putting at once the value, you can find first the equation. No? Hanapin nyo po muna yung equation natin ng TO. Para po, bago tayo mag-substitute, edi mas likely po yung ating susulatin. Okay, so please provide the value. Sa chat box na lang po. O, ano po ang ating value? Iko, are you raising your hand?
Pero ang value po na nakuha ko po yung 25.528.
Ano, Otoy? Pakilagay na lang sa chat box.
Ano chat box na po mo?
Nandun na ba? Sorry. Sadya, 25 lang? Ang inyong value, Gian, ganun din? 25 din? 25 din lang?
Ganon rin po mo.
Ha?
Parehas po kay Iko.
Try nyo nga pong i-substitute kung magiging equal Para masyadong mali. Anyone po? Sino pa pong nakakuha ng value?
Sa mission naman po ni Y, sa Y po natin, ang sabi po may Y ay only the cable.
Makiki-review niyo po ha, yung ating value. Kasi nagbago ako ng value dito sa given natin, but then it's just only 5 degrees that I change. Kaya okay? Sige po, makiki-double check na lang natin. Kasi sa original example po natin, the value is around 75.3 when the value of the maximum allowable temperature. Anyway, hindi naman siya ginamit yung maximum allowable temperature. Wala naman po akong binago. Heat dissipation lang po pala. Instead na 100 ay 105 po yung aking ginamit. And then in terms of the temperature to which we are going to compare, yung 90 degrees Celsius po yung atin ngayon. But previously in the example from the reference material, it is 85 degrees Celsius. So parang hindi naman po dapat masyadong malaki yung difference. Kasi 5 lang. Oo nga, kasi 5 lang po ito eh. So dapat po ay, ang answer natin ay 25 plus 45. Nasa around 70 po dapat degrees Celsius. Yun lang po kasi ang nabago dito sa ating example problem. So makiki-double check naman po ng inyong work baka sa pag-simplify nyo. Diba ang ano bang ginawa ninyong solution? Diba dapat ay kunin mo yung LCD nitong dalawa? Kapag nakuha nyo po yung napagsama nyo po yung denominator, i-multiply natin ng 100, tapos i-plus natin sa 25. Di po ba ganon? So, 25 plus yung common dito sa dalawa. Yes, Iko.
Ma'am, pwede pong i-factor out po yung 0 at EO minus 35 degrees po.
Oo, kaya nga po, magiging 1 over H plus yung 1 over yung 10 nitong dalawa, na itong tatlo. So, you can simplify that, yung value na yun. Since 1 over, ay di magiging reciprocal nila yung value. So, magiging H plus 1 over, di ba ang magiging formula natin would be the heat flux, O is equal to TO minus the temperature of the fluid, times yung H plus 1 over nito. 1 over, kasi po ay 1 over H. So, you have here yung heat flux, yung contact resistance plus L over K plus 1 over H. And then, reciprocal nito to the negative 1. Ay, hindi po. Naka-Q pa pala ako. Sorry. So, yan yung ating factor. And then, since ang kinukuha natin ay TO. So, your TO would be equal yung temperature ng fluid. Tama ba? Plus yung ating QO times or divided by ito. Divided by po nitong value na ito, say A. No? Tama ba? Di ba ganyan ang magiging value natin? Makikidouble check nyo na lang po ng ating value. Ano po ang ating value pagka ganyan? So later na lang po natin balikan yung inyong numerical value kasi andito na naman yung ating established na working equation. So baka sa pag-simplify nyo lang po tayo nagkaka-error. So that we can proceed with the next topic po. Balikan po natin yan later sa ating pong next meeting. Pakiayos nyo na lang po ng solution para doon. Baka po doon sa pagsisimplify po natin ng equation or pagpindot sa calculator mali. So I'll try also to solve that using my calculator kasi andyan na po yung ating working equation. Punta po tayo sa next topic which is all about the alternative conduction analysis, in which ang purpose naman po natin dito is what if the area is not constant and what if the thermal conductivity is not also constant. So the conduction analysis that we discussed in previous sections was performed using the standard approach. That is, the heat equation was solved to obtain the temperature distribution, and Fourier's law was then applied to obtain the heat transfer rate. However, an alternative approach may be used considering the figure below. So as you see in the figure, we are having an area dito sa ating one end smaller as compared to the other end. Okay? So in that case, the area varies with respect to, say, x, if we assume one-dimensional in x direction. For steady state, no internal heat generation and no heat loss from the side, the heat transfer rate must be constant, independent of x. So this condition is consequence of the energy conservation requirement, and it must apply even if the area varies with the temperature K as a function of T. So ayun po yung ating schematic representation. So in that case, we will be utilizing again yung ating separation of variable. So coming from the heat rate, andito ba yung ating so wala po. So share ko po ulit yung aking screen para po dito ko ipakita yung ating equation na gagamitin. So with that, yung ating pong equation coming from our Fourier's law, that the heat rate along the x is equal to negative k times yung atin pong area ngayon is a function of x, and then our yun pong ating k ay it can be a function of t, k function of t po ang basa, hindi k times t k times a function of t, and then the area now is a function of x, and then you have your temperature gradient along the x direction. Okay, so dyan po manggagaling ngayon yung ating equation. Still, that is Fourier's law. Now, so what we have to do is for us to solve the heat rate, then we need to separate the variable t from the variable x. Okay, so with that, you will be having your qx multiplied by your dx divided by your a as a function of x is equal to negative k, a function of t, dt. Kaya meron po tayo dyang integral andyan sa ating left and right side of the equation, separating the variable x from the variable t. So if you go back to figure number 22, andyan po yung schematic diagram natin. So with that, if you take a differential element in the conical shape po natin yan, so you will have there the thickness dx, and then you have your energy in to be your qx, and your energy out to be your qx plus dx. And if you are to find the heat rate equation along the x direction, then our limit of integration would be from xo to x, and then our temperature is from TO to T. Again po, because we are looking first for the equation. But if you are to find the heat rate at a definite point along the x on the surface area of that conical shape, and also the temperature in which the thermal conductivity may vary also as a function of temperature, then your upper limit should be only x and t. Pero kung may define na po, then you have x1 to and t1. No? Or kung ang ginamit po natin ay x1 to x2 and t1 to t2. Okay? So with that, it depends on the formula for area and also the function for the thermal conductivity. Kung ano man po yung ibigay sa atin, yun po ang a-applyan natin ng integration. Okay, so that is the alternative conduction analysis. It depends on the area as a function of x and the thermal conductivity as a function of the temperature. Okay, so we go back again to our module. And you have here yung ating example 3.3. So the diagram shows a conical section fabricated from pyroceram. So the material is pyroceram. No, another material po natin yun. And it is a circular cross-section with the diameter D is equal to AX, wherein A is equal to 0.5. So the small end is at x1 equals 100 millimeter and the large end at 300 millimeter. The temperatures are T1 is equal to 450 and T2 is equal to 650, while the lateral surface area is well insulated. So first, we are asked to derive an expression for the temperature distribution T as a function of x in symbolic form, assuming one-dimensional conditions. And we are also asked to sketch the temperature distribution. And then after that, we are also asked to calculate the heat rate through the cube. No? So in that case, what is known in the problem? Known is the conduction in a conical cross-section of prescribed material and dimension, and the surface temperature, and the position from along the x-axis of the small and large end of the conical section. No? We are asked to find first is the temperature distribution, so that is T as a function of x, and number 2 is the heat transfer rate Qx. Okay? So for the schematic representation, shift po ulit ako sa kabila. Ano? Next time po, pagka ako meron ng dalawang monitor, hindi na ako mag-shift. Kasi ang isi-shift ko na lang is yung kung alin po yung sinushow. Ano? So ayan po, yan po yung ating given. Ano? So minention po sa atin na yung distance po niya. So i-drawing lang po natin. Ano? Kopyahin ko lang po yung drawing niya. So we have here a conical shape. Now, so meron po tayong value. So ito po yung ating x. Ang distance daw po na ito ay at saka ito. Given po yan, ano? I-mention po na 100 mm po ito. At ito pong isa ay 300 mm. This is your x2 and this is your x1. Okay? And then given din po yung temperature, say this is your T1. This is equal to 450 Kelvin. And this is your T2, which is 650 Kelvin. If this is your along the x, ano, ito po yung ating x. And then we will be having later yung ating temperature distribution. So ang given po sa atin is D is equal to AX, wherein A is given to be 0.5. No? So, ayan po yung mga given conditions natin. And again po, it is made of pyroceram. So, that is a material in which you will find the thermal conductivity later. Okay? So, paano po natin kukuhanin yung, ano po ang ating mga assumptions? Assumptions, steady state, one-dimensional in X, no internal, in X direction, no internal heat generation, and we assume also constant properties. So, hanapin po natin sa table yung ating pyroceram. Ngayon po, ano po ang temperature na gagamitin? So, in finding the properties po, we will be using yung average temperature po natin nung T1 at saka nung T2. So, from table of thermophysical properties of non-metallic material for pyroceram, K of pyroceram, at what temperature? So, ang temperature po natin is at T is equal to average po ng 450 at saka 650. So, that is 1,100. Ano? So, that is at T is equal to 550 Kelvin. Doon niyo po titingnan. Makikicheck po kung ano po ang value ng thermal conductivity ng pyroceram. Makihana po sa table, pyroceram po. Ano pong value ng property? Nakita na po ang pyroceram.
Yung may pinaka-edit niya na po yung...
Anyone po? Nakita na po ba ang pyroceram? Sino po nakakita? Yes, Iko. Anong value?
7 po.
Ano na?
0.37 po, ma'am.
0.37.
3.37 po.
3.37. 3.37 watts per meter Kelvin. Ano? So, yan po yung gagamitin natin na thermal conductivity. Okay? So, again po, babalikan po natin yung ating heat rate equation. Ay.
So, three equations to make this
Okay. So, gamitin lang natin itong ating equation kanina na dinerive, and then we make use of the area, yung ating K of T, Since constant po yung ating property, ay di alisin na po natin yung k of t doon sa ating integral. Ano? So, ang nangyari po sa atin is you have here your integral.
Especially yung gabi. O hindi wala pang isang minuto ay naputol na. Wala pala namang bagong specimen.
Ano, so qx dx and then divided by yung area. So ano po ba muna ang area? Sabi sa atin ay circular cross section. So ano po ang area? Ano pong area natin? Bukod ko po muna din yung area ha. So area is pi d squared over 4. Pero ang sabi po d is equal to ax. So therefore ang area natin ay pi a squared x squared over 4. Mamaya na lang po natin i-substitute yung a. Ano? Ang a po kasi given na 0.5. So, since ang una naman pong tinatanong is, diniderive po natin yung temperature distribution. Okay? So, with that, ano po ang ating magiging equation ngayon? So, that would be equal to your pi a squared x squared over 4. Ilagay ko na po sa itaas yung 4. Ano? Is equal to k dt. No? So, kung lalagyan po natin siya ng limit, yung atin pong x ay di x1 to x kasi nga hinahanap po natin ay equation at ito po ay t1 to t. Okay? And then, atin pong isimplify na yon. So, ilabas na po natin yung constant. So, 4 is constant, pi is constant, and a squared is constant kasi binigay naman po sa atin. And also, your qx is also constant. So, that would be the integral of dx over x squared. This is from x1 to x is equal to the integral or k, the integral of dt from t1 to t. Now, so i-integrate po natin. Ano po ang integral ng 1 over x squared? That is simply x to the negative 2 dx. Now, so ano po ang integral? So that is 4 qx over pi a squared. Integral po is ano po ang integral? Yes, Iko?
Negative 1 over x po.
Okay, negative 1 over x. Negative 1 over x, apply po natin yung limit na x1 to x is equal to k times t, applying the limit from t1 to t. Na? Okay, so continue po tayo. 4qx divided by pi a squared. Apply po natin yung limit of integration. So that is negative 1 over x minus 1 over x1. So that is plus 1 over x1 is equal to k times t minus t1. Ay, nawala po ang ating negative. Ba nawala ang negative ko? Wala pong nagsabing nawala ang negative. Ito po yung may negative. No. Negative k po, diga. At ibon sa itaas, ayun, may negative po tayo sa taas. No. Nalimutan lang po. Sorry. Okay. Now, so, ang sunod po natin is, kukunin po natin yung t. Ito pong t na ito, ang ating hinahanap actually. Okay, so how are we going to solve that t? E di, ilipat lang po natin sa kabila, tapos i-divide po natin both sides ng k. So therefore, your t as a function of x would be equal to what? So that is equal to t1 minus 4qx divided by pi a squared k. Tama po ba? Times 1 over x1 minus 1 over x. Sinimplify ko na po yan. Gawa ng mga minus. Kung ito po ay gawin yung plus, edi ito po yung mababaliktad din. Ano? So, minus ko na lang po yung ating inilabas ko po yung negative dito. Ano? Kaya po ito yung naging 1 over x1 minus 1 over x. Okay? So, ayan po ngayon. Hindi pa po tayo tapos hindi pa yung final answer. Kasi yung atin pong qx, although we know that qx is constant, but we need to determine what will be the value of qx. So how are we going to determine that value of qx? That can be determined by applying yung ating second boundary condition. That sabi natin at x is equal to x2, then t is equal to t2. So atin pong i-apply dito, that would be your t2 is equal to t1 minus 4qx divided by pi a squared k, and then you have here 1 over x1 minus 1 over x2. And from that, you can find po yung ating value ng qx. Okay? So, solving for qx from this equation, your qx would be equal to so bali ay ang gagawin po natin ay ililipat po natin sa kabila yung T1, ano? Tapos i-multiply po natin ng pi a squared k, tapos divide po natin ng 1 over x1 minus 1 over x2. So our qx is simply equal to pi a squared k times yung atin pong T1 minus T2 divided by po yung 4 nakasama po ni qx, and then yun pong ating 1 over x1 minus 1 over x2. Okay, so ayun po yung ating formula para sa qx. So pwede pong ito na yung gamitin natin later doon sa letter B natin or sa number 2 nating question. Dito na lang po natin siya isa-substitute para makuha natin yung qx. But then, ang tinatanong po sa atin ay t as a function of x. So, ito po, i-substitute po natin dito. No? So, therefore, our t as a function of x is equal to t1 minus 4 divided by pi a squared k. I-substitute po natin itong nakuha natin na qx. Ang qx po natin ay pi a squared k times t1 minus t2 divided by 4 times 1 over x1 minus 1 over x2. And then, multiplier po natin yung 1 over x1 minus 1 over x2. Then we simplify. No? So this is 4 over 4. Pi a squared k over pi a squared k. So therefore, the temperature distribution now, or the equation, is equal to T1. Then you have here, yun pong ating T1, itong ating minus T1 minus T2, ano? So, sige, sulat ko muna ano, bago natin i-simplify, T1 minus T2. Then, meron po tayong divisor na 1 over x1 minus 1 over x2. And this is times 1 over x1. Tama po ba? Ay, 1 over x lang po pala itong pangalawa. Sorry. Ito po. Yan. Ayun po dito, ano? Ito sa taas. So, this is minus 1 over x. Okay? So, ayan po yung ating equation. No, atin po lang i-simplify para mas madali nyo pong tandaan. Ito po ay ating pagbabalik na rin. Unahin po natin yung 1 over x. So, yung negative po nito, i-factor out natin. Isama ko po sa negative nito. Kaya po ang ating temperature distribution would be equal to T1 plus 1T, T1 minus T2. And then, dito ko po i-factor out yung negative, kaya po magiging 1 over x minus 1 over x1 divided by 1 over x1 minus 1 over x2. Ayan. Mas madali nyo pong tandaan. Ano? 1 over x, tapos x1, sunod po sa ilalim, x1, x2. But this is now plus. No, T1, ay sorry. Ba't dito ang sinulat ko? Gutom na ata si ma'am. Ayan. Kasi T1 po yan. So, ito na po ngayon yung ating temperature distribution. So, pag dinrawing po natin, kasi hinihingi din po sa atin yung graph ng temperature distribution. Hindi na po siya straight line, obviously. Kasi as you see, yun pong ating x, hindi na po siya x lang. It is 1 over x. Okay? So, pag dinrawing po natin yung kanyang graph, since ito po yung ating graph kanina, say this is your t, and this is your x. Say this is your x1, and say this is your x2. Okay? So, ito po ay, ito po ang 0. Then, you can have here your, say, your t1, and say this is your t2. So again, hindi na po siya straight line. There should be somewhat a curve. Pag dinrawing po natin yung ating curve, yan. Hindi po siya straight line, ha? Medyo pa-curve po siya. Okay? So, ayun, So, ito po yung ating T2X2 at ito po yung ating T1X1. Ha? So, again, because it is 1 over X, not X. Kaya po, ganyan po yung hitsura ng ating curve. Okay? And with that, after po nitong makuha natin yung results natin sa letter A, punta po tayo sa B. Ang B, ang tinatanong ay heat rate. So again po, pwede na pong natin gamitin itong formula na dinerive natin sa heat rate. That Qx is equal to pi A squared K. Matiyahin ko lang po So Qx is equal to pi A squared K over 4 times T1 minus T2 divided by 1 over X1 minus 1 over X2. Kasi yan po ang may given na values. Okay po? Wala ba? Huwag naman. Yan. Meron po ako. So, ayan po. Substitute na lang po natin dito. So, ano po ang value ng ating QX? So, QX is equal to pi. Ang A po natin ay 0.5 square po. Ang atin pong K, anong minention kanina nung nagbigay sa atin ng value? Watts per meter Kelvin divided by 4. And then, times po yung T1 natin. T1 po natin ay, 650 minus, T1 po natin ay, sa figure na lang, 450 po ang T1. 450 minus 650 divided by po yung ating X1. Ang X1 po natin ay 0.01. 100 po. At saka po 300. Okay? Minus 1 over 0.3. Okay po. Makikisolve po ng heat rate. Ano po ang ating value in value po natin?
Problema lang pala naman yan.
Ano po ang value class na iyong na-compute? Meron na pong nakasolve. Pipindutin na lang po sa calcu. Ay, nakuha na ano? Nasa. Hindi po klase pa. Ano po? Yes, Iko. Anong value?
661.6975%.
Makiki-double check po ng value natin. Ano ulit po tayo bunso? 66. Pakilagay sa chat box. Chat box.
Yes po, yun po yun.
Positive ang nakuha mo?
Yes po, ma'am.
Gian, pakilagay sa chat box yan yung value. Obviously, it should be negative kasi ari po ay 450 minus 650 po. Tsaka dito sa aking nilagay pong graph, sa akin pong nilagay na representation kanina, ay papunta po dito yung ating Q, diba? Kasi dito po nanggaling yung ating x-axis. Negative 19, kindly confirm po yung sa iba po.
Ma'am, permission to speak po. Hindi
Yes.
po, ma'am, ano, yung denominator po ay 1 over 0.1 po since 100 millimeters.
Ay, 0.1 nga, oo. 0.1? O, tama po yan, 1 over 0.1. Tsaka 0.3. Kay Eldrix ay negative 2.18. O, parang yun ang malapit-lapit sa ating value. Negative 2.18 watts. Please double check ko yung inyong solution. Yung EUG yan, baka 0.01 yung nagamit mo. Mali yung aking sulat kanina. Kindly confirm po kung sino pong nakakuha pa ng value. Please write it in the chat box para ma-double check natin kung alin po sa kanilang tatlo yung ikapareho pong value. And I believe it should be the negative 2.179. Kasi again po, I changed some values from the reference material. Ang value po kasi sa reference material natin is negative 2.12. So I changed some values. So natural, magbago rin po yung value. Other values po, please write po sa chat box. Wala na po ba? Tatatlo po ba ang nag-solve? Sa sunod, graded recitation tayo. Kasi ang mga nasagot lang ay yun lang nagbo-volunteer, no? Ayaw niyong sumagot. Graded recitation tayo everyday. I-record natin yan at pag hindi tayo nakapag-quiz, yan ang inyong quiz, yung 12.5% natin. Dahil hindi kayo nasagot, so pagka wala ng grade, hindi na kayo nasagot. So next time, ang quiz natin is in a form of graded recitation. Ang hindi sumagot at ang yun ay 0 ang kanyang quiz. So yun ang babasehan natin kasi hindi kayo nagpa-participate Laging gusto nyo ay may katumbas na grade. O ngayon, we will set that to be your quiz. Ang hindi naka-answer ay di natural 0 ang quiz. Okay? Sige, hanggang doon lang yung ating discussion today. Yung atin pong example 3.4, try to answer it similar to what we did for the example 3.3. Magkaiba lang po dyan yung ating value ng V, but still it is conical cross-section and we have circular cross-section din. Now, so same lang din po yung pinapahanap, but then you have to apply yung atin pong D is equal to A the square root of X. And then we will proceed with the radial system. Please try din po to derive yung ating solution of the heat diffusion equation ng cylindrical coordinates and spherical coordinates. Yan po yung ating didiscussin sa next meeting natin. We will finish the whole chapter 3. Pag hindi po kayo sumagot, ay didire-diretsuhin ko po ang discussion kasi mahuhuli po tayo sa bago po tayo mag-midterm. Kasi meron pa po tayong chapter 4. Ano? So, ayun. So, hanggang doon lang. Sa mga hindi po nag-answer, ay di sa next meeting, magre-record na po ako tatawag po ako at kung hindi kayo makasagot, you will receive a mark of 0 for that particular graded recitation, and that will be considered as one of your quizzes. Okay? Sige po. Thank you.
Thank you po.
Thank you po.
Thank you po.
Hindi po.
Thank you po, ma'am.